And anyone ready? Yeah.
And I think we're live.
Hello and welcome to the 4th, 5th, 6th, we're not sure, Beyond Skyrim city walkabout. We're super excited to show you around Chorrol this evening, so hopefully over the next couple of hours we'll get to explore the city and you can see what we've been up to over the past few months. Should we do some introductions? So I'm Bellatrix, I'm one of the project co-leads, and tonight I'm joined by a few other people here on the project. So if we start with the spam cat, who's going to be our host for tonight, if you want to introduce yourself.
Yeah, that's me. I'm the new sub-director for QA. I've just been here for a couple of months, but we're learning the ropes. Been really fun.
And then Ree.
Hi, I'm Ria. I'm the narrative director on Cyrodiil.
Mr. JGT.
Hi, I'm Mr. JGT, and I am the exterior level design lead.
Then Ogor.
Hi. Yeah, I'm one of the two 3D and 2D art directors on Cyrodiil, and also sub-director of writing. Welcome all.
And
Last
More
but not
important-
least,
Go for it.
we have
Hello,
Roast.
I'm Roast Gorilla 439. I'm one of the directors for dungeons and interior level design.
Important to note here as well that Argor, you did most of the writing for this city that we're going to be seeing, so I expect you to probably be doing a lot of the talking.
We'll see about that.
But yeah, we'll probably be asking you questions about that kind of stuff as well.
Sounds
Probably know
good.
more about it than I do. So, and this obviously, why don't we start with where we are right now, if people haven't noticed already.
Yep, the chat's noticed. It's Battlehorn. Not sure how much we want to say on what is going on here, but needless to say, you can probably see from the images that there's some Penitus Oculatus banners, so take from that what you will. It's got the new castle tile set as well, if nobody's noticed, so it's a little upgraded from when we've previously shown it.
It does look fantastic.
Won't be going
Obviously-
inside today, though.
No, we're just gonna have a quick look at it and then move on. We are gonna be doing quests and stuff. We're gonna take a nice walk to Chorrol, have a look around, speak to some locals, do some quests, and then we're gonna explore a dungeon, aren't we?
Yep. And also take a look at a smaller settlement in the Great Forest.
Yes, because we haven't showed off the Great Forest in detail before either, I don't think.
That looks great. You'll see.
Also, a reminder to people, if they do have questions, to pop them in the chat and we'll try answer as many as we can, but there's no guarantee.
Make sure to tell me if I should stop and look at something people are asking about in the chat.
You got it.
We've got
Oh, here's a good one for you. Yeah,
I
go for it.
I think we looked at the same ones. We've got a question for you, Spam Cat. Could you go into more detail about what QA does?
Oh, well, we're actually trying to ramp up a little bit in the coming months. But what QA is all about is bug fixing, testing things. If you know, our main goal is to break everything in the game, basically. So.
And yeah, sorry, carry on.
Yeah, so what we do is we test mechanics, we test quests, we test dungeons, and see if there's any bugs, basically. Making sure balance is fine, all that.
And you said that we're looking to ramp up QA soon. Usually, obviously, QA comes towards the end of the project, but we also do a lot of it alongside stuff as it's being implemented. But QA is obviously ramping up a lot at the moment because we're just implementing way more content, which you can probably tell by the updates of the frequency of our updates. It's only been a few months since we did the same thing looking around Skingrad, so we are making a lot of really good progress, and the more progress we make, the more testers we need, the more QA we need. So we really encourage everyone to go and sign up if they're interested in helping.
Yes, we'll make more announcements in the future. Needless to say,
Yeah, so
Creation Kit is a pretty buggy engine, so we need QA testers.
some funny ones too. But yeah, here's Chorrol finally. It's beautiful and welcome to. We're glad to be here. Love seeing it on stream. Hope everybody enjoys it. We have the Great Oak Square right here, which obviously is iconic for the city, what with the symbology being entirely around the Great Oak. We actually added some interesting lore around that, which you'll find in game.
What's really nice is I haven't had chance to really be around Cyrodiil recently at the moment. So like this is kind of my first view. So it's really nice seeing like Chorrol like alive now with people walking around it rather than just kind of the static kind of, oh, here's a bunch of houses kind of thing. Now there's actually people walking around. It really creates that feeling of life that, you know, makes it feel like a game and not just here's a walking simulator.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a huge shout out has to go to Outskirts, who couldn't be with us today because he's feeling ill. But he did so much work over the last few weeks, getting the AI in the city to work. You know, plotting out all the packages or making people walk around, do things. He's really made it. He's really made the city come alive. The implementation team does such an important job. So we wish him well. Hopefully, he'll get better soon.
That's also something, a good example of what QA does. We've been testing all the schedules in town and making sure that there's not too many people in the same cell at one time and stuff like that. So if you needed a concrete example, that's an example.
Great Oak was a custom asset, by the way.
Someone's asking where they sign up to be a QA tester. I guess for now the best place is to pop onto our Discord and ask, but we'll try and get a link up so that you can apply directly.
There is a test you can do. We will be updating that test in the future, but there's a test you can do on the application.
Don't get me wrong, I believe we do good work, and there's plenty of glory in it.
Not just playing the game, it's playing the game in forensic detail.
So one thing I should point out since we're in here is that this is, as some people remember, the Fighters Guild from Chorrol was one of the main locations. I believe in Oblivion was actually the main location for the Fighters Guild. And for ours, it's the headquarters of the Colovian branch of the Fighters Guild. So we got some interesting characters in here, which may or may not be important later on.
Should we talk about where we're at with the Fighters Guild writing? Or should we wait with that one?
I think it's fine. You know, the writing, I think we might have announced it before. I don't remember. But yeah, the Fighters Guild writing was completely first passed a while ago. So it'll obviously still need revision and editing, but that's exciting.
Yeah.
Oh, we should probably point out
well on
that
its
the
way.
voice acting is
Oh yeah.
that's using VA synth as a placeholder. It's going to have proper voice acting in the full release.
Of course.
Yeah.
I think we've had to make this disclaimer every stream. We still forget every time, but the voice acting, we use this as a placeholder to give us an idea of like how the lines are, how long the lines are, and how they flow and stuff like that. But yeah, the VA is all made using VA synth. It's an AI program. It's not final by any stretch of the imagination. It's just a placeholder to help us with testing and stuff.
This is the headquarters of the Colovian
Yeah,
Yes,
one
the-
quest we're showing off today is going to be heavily based around the AI voice acting, which just excuse that for now.
Which is why I'm hoping that after all we can get a couple small
Yeah, the Fighters Guild writing the first part of the entire questline, as Argor said, recently finished, which means it's well on its way to probably being our first fully implemented main questline. So you can look forward to that in the main release, and I'm sure we'll be showing more of it as it starts to get implemented and stuff.
Someone's asked if all the faction quests will end with you becoming leader.
Not necessarily, actually. We're trying to go with a slightly different approach where we give the option of not becoming the leader, at least from a couple of our storylines, just to enhance the role-playing element, because it's going to be overdone for the entirety of Beyond Skyrim if you're the leader of every single organization across the entire continent. But so yeah.
Colovian Fighters Guild champion at your service.
Also, to answer something in the chat, the scaled armor was Nordwar's. We may have it remade. Currently, that's a decision that has not been made yet.
This is a question that keeps coming up a lot. So will Chorrol release separately like Bruma or just as part of BS Cyrodiil? So at the moment the plan is we're not doing any more pre-releases. So I know you guys are all desperate to play the game, but unfortunately it's a lot of work for us to kind of unhook everything because we're trying to make the quests quite integrated, so you'd have to go to different towns and things, and it's just in terms of extra time to get a release out, we've just taken the decision that we're going to, this is it now, it'll be the full Cyrodiil release. So whilst this town's mostly functional, there are a lot of sort of main quests that span across a lot of the towns, so we can't, it's a lot of work for us to actually release separate towns. So we just did Bruma as a proof of concept, and then the next release will be the final release.
Should we talk about Mr. Eyebrows over here? Our orc
Yeah, Mr.
children.
Eyebrows. That's our orc children. We actually have children for almost all the races now. So you'll be seeing more of those later on. I think we have one or two left to do, but yeah, it's so cool to see him, honestly.
Yep.
Also, to answer somebody in the chat from earlier, the only thing I'll say about the other quest lines is that currently I'm doing writing on the Synod and College of Whispers quest lines, the mage ones, and they're going on. They're moving along quite well. So I'll just say that.
You need weapons? Come see me.
Okay, so what are we doing at the moment? Are we just having a wander around, or are we doing a quest line? Bit of faith.
Just checking some stores and stuff, and then we're gonna do some misc tasks, and go to the different inns.
Someone has asked what is the ideological difference between the two fighters guilds, kind of the Niben and the Colovian arms.
One second.
What's kind of the reason for the split, basically, between the Colovian and Nibenese sides of the fighters guild?
Yeah, so the main difference came from an idealistic conflict which occurred during the Great War, in which half of the guild wants to help fight the threat of the Aldmeri Dominion, while the other half decided just that it was their duty to stay out of it as mercenaries. And so because of that, they split formed in the middle of the guild, and it ended up kind of dividing into Nibenese and Colovian after the conflict continued for a while. So that's what brings about the split, and there may be some content around that in the actual questline.
Why, we're the finest tavern in Chorrol County, and I don't say that just to be boastful either. Our rooms are luxurious and our food is simply divine.
And now we're in the Oak and Crozier, which many people might remember from Oblivion, the nicest establishment in Chorrol. All thanks to Bellatrix and her wonderful interior design. And yeah, right now we're talking to the owner and looking at all our fancy new Assets and interior. Look.
You said wonderful interior design, and it's the wine bottle all falls to the floor.
You saw Spam
Sammy good
immediately.
interior design.
We've been blessed
Spam
by
Cat's
Todd.
QA instincts immediately took over as he's highlighted it with his mouse.
So mentally noting it for later.
Yeah, it seemed to happen when you bought some wine and then you bought some beer and then the wine fell off, which was quite funny. Really little bugs like that you could ever predict in this engine. It's so funny.
Havoc is havoc.
If you need anything else, just call
I
me.
can't remember who did the first pass on this. I did the second pass and apparently didn't fix all the bugs. So yeah, that one's my bad.
Watch yourself. Don't make any trouble for
Yes, there will be a house in the Imperial City.
We were just having a lovely conversation about that the other day.
Yeah, that's why I answered that question. We've been talking about that recently. So yes, we're just nailing down exactly where it's going to be. We're moving really, making a lot of good progress on the Imperial City as well. So in the early stages of the planning with it. So,
But don't get too hyped, like yet.
No, it's still going to take a long time, but we're making good progress with everything.
I've seen a lot of people asking questions about release times and stuff. It's like, we cannot give you one yet. We wish we could, but we're still a way off.
Trademark.
I'd love to have a release date myself too, but yeah, we also have to wait. But yeah, to answer one of the questions, the Nibonese Fighters Guild is in Leyawen headquarters.
I can be very flamboyant when I try. I do hope you enjoy the oak and
Yes, Toaster. Oh, sorry.
Oh yeah, so you're answering the same questions. Yeah, we're getting more questions about the VA. It's literally just placeholder so that the quests work and play and we can check that everything seems okay. There will be proper VA by the time we release, but just using AI voice synth at the moment helps us test everything out, so it does sound a little bit weird, but that was not final.
You're making a scene. If you want to stay part of this business, you'll stop this nonsense right now.
Yeah, right now we should be witnessing one of the new initial scenes that goes on in the city, which hints at a specific quest.
Get back here.
Chorrol is essentially content ready, and basically any city that we've really shown off is kind of also content ready, so that's a quick and easy way to kind of gauge where we're at.
Yeah, I'd call it second pass for a city.
Yeah, there's definitely more to do in those cities, but they're the ones that are, in quotation marks, content ready.
The College of Whispers does not have guild halls in the city. They prefer, due to their nature, to hide out in the forests in the wilderness where people won't judge them quite as harshly.
Will some of the other guilds appear in Cyrodiil and mentioned in the Guilds Act, such as the Astrologers, Brewers, Rat Catchers? They're some of the things that we kind of want to, with the size of the Imperial City, we can kind of show those kind of things, really.
Yeah, of course we can't include all of them, but we're going to include the most notable ones. At least we'll try to.
But my supplier hasn't delivered in ages. I don't know where. He ran off too, but I do still have some from
The Bruma architecture at Battlehorn was already updated. You just watch the VOD later on and you can see it in the beginning of the stream.
Some of it is exotic, and some of it is locally sourced. Do you really think someone is going to buy all this?
Will we see any of the Khajiit fur stock in Cyrodiil? Currently we don't have that planned, but if elsewhere have any ready, we may have some towards the Elsewhere border.
That'd be cool, honestly. So we'll see.
Yeah, I'd love to see some, but we have enough on our plate to do that as well.
Somebody, actually sort of ties into a really early question. Was somebody asked if there'll be a smoking animation, and that brings up the point about us having new animations at all. So during our walk around, I'm not sure if you'll see any, but we do have plenty of new idle animations being made, such as head nods or a painting animation, a fishing animation, and things like that. So hopefully it'll make Cyrodiil feel a lot more fresh when you get to it finally. And as to answer that question, I'm not quite sure if we'll have a smoking animation ourselves. I believe Elsewhere might, so I think we might, but we'll see.
I usually pass out food to the local homeless around Chorrol. I haven't gotten around to it today. Would you be a kind heart and hand them out for me? Great. I tried.
So we're just gonna do. I think there's an easel outside the chapel that we might see, and if we're lucky, we'll see someone painting them. But at the moment, I think we're just going to be doing some little misc tasks. So
See you.
we're going to deliver some food to the beggars in the city from this courtesy of this lovely innkeeper.
What? Oh, hello there.
Yes, this is the Woodsman Respite, which is the lower class inn in town, if you couldn't tell. And she's a charitable heart related to. She's actually related to one of the nobility in town, and they don't really get along quite so well. She's definitely the more charitable, and so you'll be helping her out, as you can see, pass out some food to the beggars. Gotta have some of that that immersive content around the city. You know, the little stuff sometimes makes the big stuff stand out better, I think.
Such a sweet woman she is. Tell her I'll be sure to pay her back as soon as I have saved up enough gold.
Yeah, 100%.
Oliver and Fabia do a great job with the Save the Nern Theater Club.
To answer the question, yeah, we won't have any more preview mods like Bruma for Cyrodiil specifically. Yeah, we're moving straight into the release.
But the other projects most likely will, I believe. Most of them.
Pre-releases.
Most of them have decided to do pre-releases.
Which
well, here's
I'm
a
incredibly. Oh, hey, nice.
half-finished portrait, but the person, or not portrait, half-finished canvas, but the person isn't here to paint it at the moment. But it looks nice.
Yeah, I haven't seen that in game yet. I like it.
It was a bit late today. My stomach's been yelling at me.
It's been asked a few times, but Cyrodiil is how much larger? It's like 1.3, 1.5
About 1
times.
point. I think it's like it's a lot bigger than you think. It's like 1.6 or something ridiculous. Like we basically Cyrodiil almost like alright, it's got Elsewhere and Valenwood in the corner, but it takes up most of the full world space, and then we have the extra Valus and Canopy world spaces to the side, so it's a huge chunk of land, and it is about 1.6, 1.7, something in that ballpark, the size of Skyrim. So we have a lot of space to do, but we've been working on it for a few years, and there's quite a lot done at this point. So yeah,
and it's funny because you don't actually notice it until you start leaving the cities and go just walk around the landscape, because the cities are more or less kind of the same scale. But I've noticed when I'm walking around the wilderness, I just kind of get lost, and it's cool. The classic robe designs, we did change it. You can actually see the new robe design I made earlier based on a concept by Steel Feathers being worn by some of the NPCs. It was also featured in the trailer, worn by Nil Ricio. They don't go. They're pretty long. I'll just say that to answer your question, but they're not the same as Oblivion's robes.
I like this quest because it ties into the themes of the city quite well. This being the city of Stendar, who is the god of mercy, among many other things. So there's quite a few, I think there's a few quests that deal with this kind of idea, especially there's one outside the city to do with the vigilance, which is a similar idea, but maybe a different kind of mercy, so and a different kind of compassion. So there's a lot of that kind of, those kind of quests in the city, I believe.
But maybe they'll serve you better. Yes, thanks.
It ties together quite nicely.
I love this NPC too, Lix Willows. His vague connections with the Argonia team writing, in that he makes some hints during dialogue. Oh, you got your wrapped shoes?
Yeah.
Nice.
Nice little gift. That's a nice little reward.
Greetings. I'm Philia Uplegroup. How may I help you?
are we still looking for voice actors? We are, but it's not a high priority at the moment because we're not quite at the stage where we need voice actors to bring it all to life.
Yeah, it's more like we'll get your contact info and then we'll be contacting you once VA starts.
Yeah.
Not really possible to start yet.
No. I mean, that is a day when I think everyone will get excited when we're actually going to start doing that.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Oh, hello there. I'm sure it's not.
Someone's asked how much of the rest of Chorrol County outside the city is done, as in the dungeons, exteriors, towns, etc. Pretty much all of it.
There's quite a lot done. I think the exteriors are done. I think most of the dungeons are done. And the small towns, they've all been written, I think, at this point. I don't know if they've all been implemented.
I ordered new furniture for the shop from Melina Frau.
I think for the Chorrol
They said
region,
they'll
I
be
think
straight away, but we are
all
yet
the
to
towns.
receive
No,
our
not all the
orders.
towns. I take that back.
It's
Yeah,
taken
so some
quite a
still need
ridiculous
reviewing and
time,
implementing.
and I'd like to see our
Hmm.
Chorrol,
balancing up
to answer
the
somebody's question, Chorrol
you will
writing is
agree if
100%
you were
complete,
around very long, I'd appreciate
as you can
more
see
furniture
in
soon.
game. But there's still a few things that
Forward
need to
hearing
be
some news.
to get in, but we'll very shortly be at the full second pass stage.
I've seen the same question by someone asked a few times, and it's, will we have romanceable
I have all the
companions?
food your heart could possibly desire.
That sounds like a Rhea question.
Not sure yet. We haven't decided how we'll be handling marriage and romance yet. It's kind of low down on the priority list at the moment.
Yeah, that Accursed place. I heard Marion is
I
offering
guess
to pay
as
someone
a
to clear
minimum
the
it
town.
would work like Skyrim, wouldn't it?
Yeah. If nothing else, it will have the same stuff as Skyrim.
On top of that, we're almost 2 months behind, and instead of working, you two are sitting here gossiping like a couple of old cronies. I knew orcs were stupid, but if I'd known they
The
were
soundtrack
I'd
will
never
get an
have
update. It will have some new music added to it.
From the trailer too, right? It's gonna be implemented as well.
Yeah, it's gonna be have like an alteration of that theme because it's such a beautiful theme that Eric composed. It won't obviously be the same trailer music because that doesn't loop and all that kind of stuff, but hopefully it'll carry the same.
Those same dark themes.
Mm. All right, now we're actually looking at our second missed quest, which revolves around the lumber yard that's based inside of Chorrol. The city is one general theme of the city is that it's kind of packed to the brim. With it being one of the safer cities in the province, and because of that, this noble here, Lena Frauke, feels like she can kind of treat her workers poorly, because there's an abundance. So you're kind of helping these orc workers have a better working environment here.
Just tell him.
We shall see if we're successful.
I promise soon.
You're working for the Vrelters, right? We are in dire straits. Adrok on me without a job, but now you have Jonas without a date on his order.
Yeah, a few people have noted that in the past that a windmill in the middle of the city might not make the most sense, like from an engineering perspective or practicality, but it looks cool. And some people noticed that the shadow looks cool, and I would agree.
It did really throw me off a few weeks ago when I was wandering around before stuff was implemented, and it was causing another shadow to change. I don't know why. I think it was just on like the cusp of where it loads in. I just kept walking and just like this shadow just kept flickering, and I was like, what's going on? And then I realized what it was, and it was like, oh, it's just the windmill and something quite loading in properly. Thankfully, it was on my end, another problem with the mod. And that's why I'm not doing this.
It's a feature, not a bug.
Yeah.
Somebody asked if there'll be orc strongholds around, and yes, there will be. In fact, I think it's mentioned a few times in Chorrol, the nearby strongholds that are in the region. There are some loose connections here.
Some guard rumors also. It's definitely hinted at.
It's been an elf sage since she's listened to me.
It's somebody asked, well, you mentioned how the lumber yard might be hard to get lumber to, which allows me to point out that there's actually a crane on the wall right behind if you get a chance to look at it. A nice crane. I believe it was made by the Morrowind team, actually.
There you go.
Yep.
There will not be a Dark Brotherhood questline because they only exist in Skyrim now.
Will we go inside Chorrol
Tell
Castle
Jonas.
today?
I'll have his order soon.
We can
There.
go
I've been
into the Great
unforeseen
Hall.
complications, and there's nothing I can do.
Some side stuff that isn't completed yet, but the main hall should be okay, I think.
Yeah. I
Scoff
remember who
Those good-for-nothing louts.
who was
I don't
the
think so. I am not
designer
good at
who
employing
made the
lots of
interior for that?
nasty, smelly, lazy creatures.
I don't remember.
What, the actual level design?
What?
For
No,
the
no,
castle, yeah.
they can if my other
I think they
customers
they
hear
were
the
working on it
grouch
recently.
over
I
the
might be
phone,
mistaken.
they'll all start withdrawing.
That was done by SSX first, and then
I
when
will. I'll
Gears
think of something.
the
Just you
second
tell
pass
Jonas. I'll
to
have
that.
his order in time.
There's a question here I don't know the answer to. Will we visit Hackdirt today?
No, sadly
No.
not.
Oh, that was mean of us. We teased it in the trailer, didn't we?
You can take a look at it from afar, maybe.
Come to my stall, unsample the culinary delights of Tamriel.
It's nearby the path we're taking.
There's a repeated question of, are there any plans to integrate any of the Creation Cup content added by the Anniversary Edition?
Can't bit,
see
I
I'm
think.
having a good time drinking away my problems?
Not necessarily all of it, but I think the fishing robes and where it makes sense, we'll integrate it. I think is the plan.
I think we'll have a patch that'll come out afterwards that will make it really obvious, not obvious, that will make it easier to integrate with the base release.
There's a couple questions that popped up in the chat that I noticed as well. I'll just get the first easy one out quickly. Is can we look at the Chorrol player home in the city from the exterior? And I will say no to that because there's something about it that is sort of spoilery. So we won't be specifying that. The other question was how will we be dealing with the assassination of the Emperor in regards to SOSK?
So the assassination of the Emperor, I think this has been public knowledge for a long time, that one of our main quest lines deals with the assassination of the Emperor in the aftermath, and essentially allows the player to choose the Emperor's successor by siding with a particular noble family in Cyrodiil. If you killed the Emperor during the Dark Brotherhood questline, then everything lines up, and that's perfectly fine, and then you carry on with the questline as you normally would. However, if you would like to do the questline in Cyrodiil without doing the Dark Brotherhood questline, the Emperor will be killed off screen, and then you won't be able to do the Dark Brotherhood questline afterwards. So you can still do both, you just have to do the Dark Brotherhood one first. And if you get to that point in the story, there will be a warning telling you that you have to go back and play vanilla content, otherwise it will be locked off. We try very hard not to touch any vanilla content. It's kind of big part of our ethos is that our game should feel like a natural extension of the base game. But this is, I guess, is our one exception because it's so closely tied to that story.
And we kind of have to as well, because the other option is you don't need to play the Dark Brotherhood questline. You can choose to destroy the Dark Brotherhood. So if as a character you're playing like that, you wouldn't then want to sort of lock off the entire main quest in Cyrodiil. So yeah, hopefully it won't be too sort of clunky, but yeah, there should be a few different ways for people to play it.
Before another of your insults makes me change my mind. I need you and Margrol to return to work immediately.
This is a good example of why we do QA passes on quests we implement early on, because as you just saw, we had to wait a long time for this to happen. So what we're doing in QA a lot is considering like player experience and stuff like that as well, trying to take on board suggestions for how to make it as fun for the players as possible, basically.
What a job you did. You sure can. His order will be done within the week, I promise. and thank you. You can't know how much this means to me.
Also, one thing of note is that the weathers we're currently working on new weathers for the region. So if there's any bugs you notice with that, in regards to the sky or something, that's the reason.
Still.
I think it looks quite nice right now. It looks about right. Looks quite good, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You have some exciting tools for that type of thing.
Hello there. What can I do for you this
Now that would make
There's a lot
weathers
of,
and stuff much easier.
Yeah.
Was it who was it who made that recently? It was
Jonax.
right?
Jonax.
Yeah,
Jonah.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, fantastic tool. I mean, a lot less tedious, that's for sure.
There's a lot of questions about the Dark Brotherhood and the Emperor. I'm pretty sure a lot of these are on our FAQ on our Discord if you're really interested. No, the player can't become Emperor. It would not work with the vanilla game. It would be too much work. It just basically would be impossible to make it work. You can go and kill the Dark Brotherhood after you've done the Cyrodiil stuff. That would still work. It gets a bit tricky to explain all the intricacies of how it works from a design perspective, but we've put a lot of work into planning out the main quest line so that it fits into the vanilla story no matter what choices you make. So it should feel rewarding and fun.
There's good reason for it. We put on amateur productions to entertain the people of Chorrol.
Someone's asked if Sean Bean's going to make a return. I don't think we can afford him. Does he work for free?
Also, somebody mentioned where's Rebel? Oh yeah, where's Rebel's Eyes? He's from Sky Oblivion, so we're definitely this is Beyond Skyrim, where we're remaking Cyrodiil in the 4th era, whereas Sky Oblivion is remaking the Oblivion more or less.
Yes, different projects.
He does sometimes pop over and say hi though.
He's wonderful.
Yeah. One does not simply ask Sean B. Amazing.
Look at me planning ahead. Here's our room, already paid for.
Pro gamer move right there.
Mm-hmm.
Also, sometimes people will pop into the stream and will ask questions that we've already answered. I apologize if it seems like we're ignoring you, but if you are asking a question that was already answered halfway through the stream, then you might have to go back and watch the VOD. We don't want to repeat ourselves too much.
This isn't representative of the of how the NPC AI should work. There's a bug where they're grouping by doors until you interact with them. So that's something we're working to figure out. It will not be in the final game.
That's quite funny though. It just piled out in the morning at the same time.
You don't have to go home, but you can stay here.
That's a really good question from the chat actually. I'm going to ask Argor this one. What's your favourite quest line that you've worked on so far?
I do have a propensity for Rules of Law and Kvatch, which is a very convoluted quest which I like to tease implementers with. But besides that, the Synod College Whispers is obviously takes the cake there. Been working on that since 2015, so it's getting some good progress. What about you, Ray? What is your favorite?
I think it's a funny answer, but I would say Seat of Sundered Kings, the main quest line. Even though we haven't actually necessarily started the writing process, the planning of it has been really, really fun, and we've made such good progress with it recently, and I'm really excited for it because I genuinely think that when it is eventually finished, people are going to really, really enjoy it.
Totally agree. I know. I'm also hyped.
Yeah, I like to do all the designy bits as well, the narrative design, and so there was a lot of that because we had to really think about it because it's not a traditional quest line in the sense of a normal Skyrim quest line. It's extremely non-linear. It has a lot of paths that can be completed simultaneously, and it touches and interacts with almost every other quest in the game, or in the mod, I should say. So it's extremely extensive, and I think I'm quite confident that it's going to hold up. But it's planning it has been very, very intense, but very, very rewarding. So I'm really excited to get writing on it soon.
From the discussions I've seen, it's going to be a fun one. I think is Seats on the Kings in its own way. If you like political intrigue, that's going to be a fun.
Like a lot of like Oblivion's main quest line, and Skyrim's main quest line, and even Morrowind's dealt with kind of what's the word? External threats, supernatural threats, almost a lot of them. So we do have a quest line that is dedicated to that, but Seat of Sundered Kings is a non-traditional quest line in that it is dealing with very human problems, lots of political drama. So if you're into that kind of stuff, and it's structured very differently. It's not very linear, like I just said. So if you like that kind of stuff, then hopefully you're going to really love that quest line.
In that short time when we just received like 5 good questions, and I'm like, okay, I can't catch up with the chat. They're too fast for us. So I'll just try and rapid fire some of them real quick. So will there be Khajiit caravans around Cyrodiil? There should be, I believe, 1. We do have the Colovian traders caravans as well, amongst I think maybe 1 or 2 actually others. We're trying to up the immersion factor with merchants and stuff in the city. Another one was, will there be Goblin Wars? Probably, because of the recent video that was posted. I believe we're looking into it, but no confirmed answers. 2 other things is that we just started the Wendier quest, which is to help the old lady Miriam Amiette in the city to clear out a nearby alien dungeon, because she doesn't like the danger nearby, so close to the city. So now we'll be leaving the city because of that, and we'll be exploring some of the wilds of Chorrol.
Good talk about this too. Here are some newly implemented trees that our talented artists are making. We're like expanding the flora a lot recently. Great work, just like the last couple of weeks. Great additions of pear trees and non-snowy apple trees and stuff. So exciting progress.
I really love the outskirts of our cities, because we've done so much with the farms and the windmills and the stables and stuff, like the fields and the areas outside of the cities. It's the same thing when we went to look at Skingrad, and it's the same thing in Kvatch. I really enjoy what we've done with the outskirts of the city, because one of the weirdest things about Oblivion was that you would walk outside the city gate and immediately you would just be in a forest and there would be nothing there. So we've really tried to add a lot of stuff around the outskirts of the city, not just inside it, but outside as well. So yeah, these cities are bigger than they were in Oblivion, especially when you take that into account as well.
Someone has asked, what is our favourite city in Cyrodiil?
Mine is Skingrad. Which everyone knows. Everyone on the team knows Skingrad is mine, because I wrote a lot of the quests for it, and involving vampires, which we had a trailer about a little while ago. But so if you're interested, go watch that.
So it's kind of funny. Oh, that's a good one. Yeah.
Was that?
Yeah, I missed that.
Leowin, yeah. That was good.
Yeah.
I'm terrible. Mine's whichever one I'm working on currently. So it changes every time I get to a new city. It's like, oh, I really like this one.
I have a soft spot for Bravel, since I did a lot of the exterior level design on that one. But yeah, I this is probably going to sound really kind of stereotypical, but I think once we get onto the Imperial City, that will quickly become my favourite.
I think everybody's really.
I'm so excited for the Imperial City. So yeah, we're.
I think mine was.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, what was yours?
Oh, just mine was originally Chorrol, but I think it's slowly becoming Breville because of some recent events. But go for it. About the dungeon we're in.
Oh yeah. Well, we've just entered an alien dungeon, obviously, and we found some spirits. Always restless spirits in dungeons. Always. So the adventure is bread and butter, really, isn't it? This dungeon, though, I've seen it a few times recently, and it is absolutely gorgeous. So I think you're all going to enjoy it.
We're hearing voices echo through the walls.
I like the guy at the start. I'm not scared, I just don't want to die. This is me playing Skyrim.
Take a look at this. Welkin stones. These are worth a fortune.
Eric Burns, yes, this Imperial City is the last city we're going to work
the
on.
magic of pouring out of them. I've never seen anything like them before. They're beautiful.
You find everything so curious, don't you?
Discovering new things is what makes life interesting. I guess I get bored easily.
Bored of everything?
Well, everything but you.
Mega Man, the Aelid Dungeon set, or at least a version of it, was released on Nexus many years ago. But I believe it needs updating to include some of the current assets that we have for it.
Yeah, the AI voice acting is doing the best it can, but once we have our actual voice acting, this quest will be a lot better because this is a very heavily motion-based quest, I think.
Someone's asked about the Imperial City number of interiors. It's a number that we recently came up with. Do we want to share it or not?
Well, I did the rough estimation. It's not perfect because it doesn't include some interiors. Let's just say it's over 150 for like the entirety of the Imperial Isles, and just let people realize how crazy that is.
Let's just say it's enough to give me a migraine.
You really clutter 150 houses?
Also, the Aelid enemies that we saw back there, they are currently kind of temporary and need updating.
Yes, they will get a major rework in the leveled list and stuff to make it better experience in dungeons.
Sam, there's no Dark Brotherhood, but we have a alternative assassin style questline kind of on the table.
Yeah, not quite the same content, but
no,
we'll be figuring out.
It'll be for that same play style. Here's one for you, Claire. Any news from BS Roscrea? It's been a while since we've heard.
Not really. We're still plugging along. Writing's making really good progress. There's a big surprise coming next week, but not a release date surprise, unfortunately. But yeah, it's getting there. But I'm sure you appreciate watching this. It's an awful lot of work to actually make any mod at all. So yeah, we're just grinding it out a bit at a time, and we will get there.
Who made this Aelid dungeon?
Kassala, and the lighting overhaul is done by Disrecord, I think.
No, Kassala did the lighting as well.
You did? Okay.
Yeah. Disrecord redid the lighting in other ruins.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Lovely lighting, anyway.
Michael Marlowe is asking what language developers code in, or I'm using a constructed kit. We use the creation kit, which is the official Bethesda basically mod creating tool, which codes in Python as its
Papyrus is the...
Oh, Papyrus,
yeah,
yeah, sorry. As its language of choice.
Walk over the trap.
That's not a trap. I don't know what you're talking about. That's just a floor.
I mean, the floor with holes in it.
Yeah. Cyrodiil's variant of the Elven armor will be the Aelid armor, basically. It won't be. We won't be making a new.
Concerned? Yes. Just had to state that we are looking for people to make dungeons and interiors still. So.
Oh yes, yeah.
We're still
Yes,
looking
we
for.
really need dungeon designers.
We need everything. We're always taking on new people. It's a big volunteer project. I'm pretty sure there's nothing that we don't want, right?
No, I think just about everything's needed. I was
Yeah.
holding off on getting more exterior people, but
Oh.
we're now at the point where
Oh.
even some of those would be useful.
Yeah. What are we doing right now? Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, I wanted people to see that. It was a puzzle mechanic that Spamcat was doing. That we've got a new puzzle mechanic in the Aelid dungeons. There's a few actually, and we're just going to showcase a few different ones. That was one of them. Do you want to tell us what you did there?
Well, we have introduced something called keystones, which is like Wilkinstone-like objects. They will get updated models, most likely. But they can do a bunch of different stuff to activate and progress you through the dungeons. And we will see some more stuff with keystones later in this dungeon. And our light puzzle, which has been teased before.
A light puzzle, that's exciting. But yeah, the keystone there, you placed it on the pedestal and it opened the door. So
Yes.
there was like a locked door that you had to bypass, and in order to do that, you had to pick up the keystone and put it on the pedestal. So it's little stuff like that really helps, like, you know, bring the dungeon alive. It's kind of like the puzzles from the Draugr dungeons with the stakes and the little heads, except not the same thing over and over again, hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully not.
Yeah.
Yes.
Also, to double down on what Spam said is, yeah, those should be getting new assets. And there's also another thing in this dungeon you'll see that is a placeholder, most notably that will also be getting new assets.
We keep getting questions about Skingrad, seeing as I mentioned it. Just really quickly, no, Glarthir is dead. There is no Glarthir in Skingrad. And there are no references to him at the moment, as far as I know, other than there might be some obscure things written down in a book somewhere or something. Someone also asked about the Sextius family. The Sextius family still exists and are, in fact, quite important today in modern Skingrad. If you're interested in Hasseldor, which is obviously a big question, go watch the Skingrad trailer that we had on our channel not so long ago. I'm not going to say anything else. It's all spoilers.
Will we be seeing an Aelid gut garden? That is a good question, and I don't know. Not today. Let's just say that.
An actual gut garden would have rotted away a long time ago.
Yeah. Honestly, that's true. Will we see it featured in some capacity somewhere? Potentially, maybe. I don't know.
We might see the remnants of one. But also, there's the dark welkin stones there that were.
Oh yeah, I love those.
In Oblivion, weren't they?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, is this some poison gas that we've got there?
Yeah, you just had to burn away the poison gas as well to get the button, and then run past the dark welkin stone again, which is trying to zap you. It's kind of stuff, you know, more than just pressing buttons to open doors and killing ghosts. We really want the dungeons to be a little bit, you know,
You can destroy the dark welkin, you just attack it.
The more you know.
Well, there you go.
Could someone who hasn't played Oblivion properly enjoy this mod? Someone who hasn't really played Oblivion, other than to go around and look at stuff for Cyrodiil, basically. Yes.
Yes, 100%.
In many respects, I prefer it to Oblivion because I just prefer Skyrim's slightly updated graphic style and stuff. So I'm super proud of what we've done to kind of bring that into the modern era.
Yeah, bearing in mind this mod is meant to be an extension of the base game Skyrim,
Yeah.
so it's all geared towards you being a Skyrim player, and it's geared towards giving you the similar experience that you would receive from playing Skyrim. So, you know, there's all the way down to like the little things like loading screen tips and stuff that will help you like figure out what's in what city and where to go and who you can talk to and stuff. Rumors, guard rumors, innkeepers, this sort of thing to help you out. All of this stuff, you know, is aimed to be a vanilla experience. So it's, you know, friendly to new people and to veterans, hopefully.
I think if you played Oblivion, there should be the odd nod back to it that Oblivion players will hopefully get nostalgic about, but you can absolutely play the mod having not played Oblivion and it will all make sense.
It's not all just callbacks all the time. We're trying to create our own stories.
Yeah, it's been 200 years. A lot of people will ask about, you know, stuff that happened, you know, in Oblivion. Will this house exist? Will this person exist? Does this person's descendants exist? It's hard to answer all of them. Most of the time, unless they were an important person, the answer is probably no, because it has been 200 years. And a lot of things change in 200 years, especially in a medieval society like this. But there will be, like, it's not like we're completely ignoring Oblivion. All of the lore is friendly to Oblivion lore. All of the progression from Oblivion is stuff that we would naturally will have expected to happen in 200 years. We're not just ignoring it. We are trying to build on it and imagine what the world might be like in the time of Skyrim. We don't want to lean too heavily on Oblivion in terms of like you know, revisiting old stuff, because obviously we want it to be fun for new players. We don't want it to just be a nostalgia trip. We want an entirely new experience for people, but it should be fun regardless of whether you play Oblivion or not. And I do think that, yeah, if you have played it, then there definitely will be things that you'll recognize. So that's the most important thing.
Someone asked, will the Civil War in Skyrim tie into Cyrodiil at all? I think we'll have some...
Very loosely, yeah. And also, somebody asked about the Aliad armor earlier, so if you want to just show it off in person, you just picked it up.
Yep.
As well. But we also saw the Ancient Legion shield, and sort of going off on the... This is still in the universe of Oblivion. You may find things like that still lying around. This is a section that also has some of those work in progress assets, yeah, like the thing you're seeing in front of you.
Think of this more as a proof of concept. We're trying to make dungeons more engaging.
Especially those statues of RK.
Yes, those will be replaced.
And I think the enemies that come out of there will be different as well, won't they?
Yeah. It'll be just as polished as you would expect from Beyond Skyrim.
Oh, who is the worst candidate for Emperor of Cyrodiil?
Definitely not the one I'm writing. No,
entirely subjective. We'll leave you to decide yourself.
Player.
I think it's which is definitely the reason because I hope you all got that. It might have been a bit. There should be no issues technical permission wise with modders adding stuff to Beyond Skyrim, as long as they, you know, say thanks to us, basically.
There's been a related question a few times as well, I think, actually, about are we working with mods like Lucian and things like that as well? And the answer to that is no, but I mean, yeah, we'd happily support a patch for it or something. Because obviously I've played with Lucian in my playthrough a couple of times, and he's supposedly from Cyrodiil, so it would make sense if he could come here as well. But we're not going to make it so that you have to use third-party content, but I imagine that people will patch various mods for it, and yeah, we're happy to work with people on that.
Someone actually, before I say that, we should look at the nice scene going on before us.
Yeah, Yes, this crystal will get its own asset. I believe Unknown is working on it. After he's done his 500 other things he's got on his list. But you know.
It's like the adventurers that we were following through the... It looks like we found out how they died.
Yeah, touch it. Touch it.
What does the chat think? Should we touch it?
I mean, that is literally what killed the previous adventurers. That sounds like a terrible idea.
You don't know that. You don't know that. Just touch it.
There's just lots of screaming.
Screaming, though.
Quite a lot of people saying touch it, though.
Okay.
Get in touch it. Touch
Quick
it.
save.
Will of the people. Will of the people.
Yeah, quick save, please.
Will of the people.
Oh, see? There's nothing wrong. Yeah, no, it's fine. Just taking a little nap.
Take the hint.
Even with God mode. There, you happy now? We touched it.
Who could have predicted it would go like that?
Well, luckily, we've got some of those keystones, haven't we?
Yeah.
I wonder what they could be used for. Oh, look, we've got 3 and we need 1 more.
Curious. Almost like
I think it's safe to touch it again.
So, this is one of the things we're trying to do with our puzzle systems. We're trying to make them scalable. Basically give the dungeon designers as many possibilities as possible to design puzzles that suit their needs. So you can have as many of these crystals as you want. It's yeah.
To go off on a little tangent now, while we try and find the last crystal, actually, it looks like we've already found the place where the crystal might be found. Oh, is that one of the new robes you picked up?
Might be.
I want to look at that too.
Is it?
Yes, it is.
Very nice.
I haven't seen that they got updated. I love me some mage stuff.
Oh, really? Yeah. No, it was fun to make these ones. They're actually getting they still need a new hood and some variants, but the main asset is in. I think for this journal, people might want... Oh, go ahead.
I was just saying, I just read something at the top that said attunement stones. I wonder what those are.
Yes, that's his way of describing these stones. In
case you hadn't figured out what you needed to do yet, the book holds a hint, basically.
Yes. We don't want to confuse players too much.
Yeah, I need my dungeon signposting.
Hey, you! Finally awake?
Yes, it brings you back to the beginning of Skyrim. Amazing.
Oh, we're back at the start of the dungeon again.
Yeah, how odd.
But it does look different.
Oh, who are you? How did you get here? The Curse of Windir? You mean the spirits? Myself and my Cassius came across them. We got separated and now I can't find him. How did you know that?
No, this is not Serana. This is Rosalie.
How is that possible?
Someone's asked, would Thalmor Imperial Relations play a more central part in the Skyrim Civil War?
I can't be dead. Wait, I remember. There was a crystal.
I think it's something that we touched on in Seat of Son of Kings, I believe.
I could see. Stay away from me.
I'm not entirely sure I understand the question.
Thalmor Imperial Relations. That's where they'll be touched upon a bit in City of Sun of Kings, I'm guessing.
Oh yeah, I think should think so. Yeah.
Finally, a use for the mage's robes. It's a paperweight.
Why won't you talk to me? It's not like you can't see me.
I'll have you know, mages are very.
Have you seen her?
I'm playing a warrior character today, so.
I can't sense it. Can you hear me?
It's in character.
The name's Cassius. I'm looking for a girl named Rosaline. Have you seen her? Thank they. How is she? Is she okay?
Will there be some sort of war quest line in the full mod release? No.
Help me look for her. Excellent. Let's go.
What was the question, sorry?
Will there be a war quest kind of line in Cyrodiil? No. Is the simple answer to that.
To state it again, the voices shown in the mod are AI voices. So this entire quest will be properly voice acted prior to the release.
And have appropriate effects and everything as well, of course.
I don't know if we've really shown off that airlid shield before, so that was a nice look at it as we hit it really hard with a hammer.
There we go.
Yeah.
Testing its material density. Yeah, I love that shield. The whole alien set's just inspired. It's all based off of Red's original concept, which is just breathtaking, I think. I've always loved it.
Yeah, I absolutely love our alien stuff. It's absolutely great.
It's always funny because when you look back at how aliens are represented in like the base games, I'm just like, this doesn't feel right.
Yeah,
after seeing
it's
Mars.
like the cores stuff and like blades, like the aliens in there. I'm like, no, you don't look right.
Yeah.
We did the proper ones. This is just, you know, Bethesda's own fanfiction of armor.
Yeah. Undead pet hellhounds, that'd be cool. I mean, we have something that may be similar to that, but...
Will there be any Talos worshippers in Cyrodiil? Yes, there will, but they will not be very obvious. Because they don't want to get on the wrong side.
Talos worshippers in Bruma.
Yes, there was, yeah. Will there be new animations for ogres and minotaurs?
Hopefully.
Yeah,
we'll see.
Crossed.
That all comes down to how much
time.
How many animators we have, how much time it takes to create, which they are not easy, honestly. Thankfully, if we use the existing creatures as a baseline and create animations on top of that, it's generally easier than making entirely new ones, so that might help. Hopefully we'll have at least a few of those. So, because I mean, we see it as much as anybody that just using the same animations from vanilla Skyrim it just makes it feel the same. So hopefully.
Will Cyrodiil have quests for each of the Daedra at their shrines?
Not necessarily. Some of them definitely will. Some of the quests might be picked up away from the shrines, kind of like they were more in Skyrim. We're not sure about, not all of them have been finished yet, so we can't speak to all of them. And we're not 100% sure whether every single Daedric prince will feature, but we're trying our best to give them each one some kind of presence.
Yeah, they'll have a presence for sure. I mean, they always show up. Whether you'll hear about them for sure. I mean, they're all still there.
I think Jigaligalig. I never know how to say his name. Jigaligalagalig. I think he's the only one we don't have any plans for, if I remember rightly. The rest of them we've had some kind of idea, but I don't think Jigaligalagalig will be one of the choices.
no major content in any way. if we
Lower
have
that.
any rule.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, lower that guy onto that floor.
Yes. No, drop it. Drop the floor. Drop it. Oh.
If we only had unrelenting force.
What's the Dragonborn? Never heard of him.
Chorrol won't be coming out. Chorrol won't be coming out like a separate release. It will be it'll be part of the main Cyrodiil release.
If we do have any Winter Sun integration, it would be a separate patch, probably by those mod authors. It would be kind of cool to see for sure, with all the religions going on in Cyrodiil.
Yeah. There will also be new spells as well.
Yeah, you might actually see some during this. I believe. I think I've seen it last time.
Are we going to create any new Daedric artifacts or only existing ones? I think most of them are pre-existing ones, but I have seen some ideas for new.
There are at least one or two new ones, but that's as far as I know, or at least as far as I remember.
Are the quests written specifically for the Dragonborn, or can you roleplay as a regular person?
You can definitely roleplay as a regular person. I think that's quite important to most of the team. I think we envisaged that people might even just do a complete Cyrodiil playthrough and navigate to Skyrim, but yeah, there are definitely options for different ways of playing the game. And I guess people will refer to you as the Dragonborn in certain contexts, but yeah, it's not that big a deal when you're in Cyrodiil.
I think you will get referred to it if you are the Dragonborn in certain situations, but
yeah,
currently there's very little content planned specifically for the Dragonborn.
Yeah, there may be some, but generally speaking, we want to have the option for a full non-Dragonborn playthrough, as well as it feeling natural when you are Dragonborn, like stated. So try to imagine, yeah.
Basically, only involving it where it actually makes sense.
This all seems very familiar for some reason. Like we've been here before.
Is this what's called deja vu?
Yeah, it even seems like glowy in the air. Just like you would imagine deja vu would be.
I mean, we did touch the death crystal, so I think we're dead.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, so you're saying we're a ghost? We're actually trapped in this forever? That's the main feature of Cyrodiil? I love it.
Maybe we'll have to figure it out. Maybe we'll have to figure out a way to get out of the crystal or whatever we're inside.
Patches for other mods will probably be done by those mod authors. We won't be doing them ourselves.
It just keeps getting darker and darker.
Yeah, I mean, there are Live Another Life patches for Bruma already. I think you can start in the tavern and maybe a player home or something. So yeah, we imagine people will make them. Some of those people might also be BS devs, but kind of informally. So yeah, we're not going to stop people doing it, but we probably won't do it ourselves.
And yes, it looks like we reunited Rosaline and Cassius.
And now they're blocking our way from
game. No! Skyrim.
As they always do.
Sprint at him. Sprint at him.
This is the issue with the ghosts.
Oh, they don't stagger?
No, they don't stagger.
Oh. Yeah, now you're really trapped.
Okay. Skyrim moments over.
Yeah. Can you kill ghosts? That's a good question.
It's a setting in the CK that disallows any interaction with them, like combat-wise. More things you have to test as a QA. As a QA tester.
I thought you said as a Kiwi. I was like, oh, that's interesting.
Ogres and Minotaurs will probably get their own unique sounds. We've just never really
Hopefully.
had people dedicated to sound design, but we now have some of those lovely people, so.
Mm-hmm. That's cool. That works. You can drop it on the pressure plate. I was screwed about that.
So this is another way we're trying to expand on the dungeons. Actually, 2 ways. First, there's a different puzzle here, which allows us to destroy crystals to make things happen. And secondly, you'll see soon a new system we're working on. Wish I just had a bow.
Just use a bow. Just use a bow. There you go.
Can you not use flames on it or something?
Yes, you can use anything, and we can customize it as we want. So.
One more soul to the pyre. One more course to the crystals. Great feast. Wait. No. You're different. You're here. How interesting. I am the curator of this place. Or maybe I am its creator. They called me Cato when I was among the living. It would be more accurate to say I inherited it. This place. The crystal created it. In fact,
Skyrim events will have slight effect on Cyrodiil, but not massive.
an early relic of some kind. It has a hunger for souls, and it does not relinquish.
Yeah, the completing quest lines in Skyrim will most likely lead to some cosmetic changes in Cyrodiil, but because of the sheer number of quests in Skyrim and the different paths that you can take to complete them, we can't accommodate every possible situation. So the most likely ones that might affect Cyrodiil will be the Civil War outcomes, and obviously that might be reflected in dialogue, but it's not going to mechanically affect the way that you play the mod, because that would be impossible.
I do not know. The same reason I've remained trapped in this cage, I suppose.
Which is to say, people will react to it, but it is, something that's happening in another country, so it's not going to have a literal effect. Does that make sense?
Is what I've done truly so wrong? If there is even the slightest glimmer of hope, she could still live. And this place? No, we have become one and the same. That would mean. No.
Yes, well, I will say about, if you can hear me. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I dropped out for a second, but what I'll say about Cato is that trust your eyes and what he appears to be, and if you want more information, you can always go back over the VOD and read that journal. I believe it had more information.
Yes.
And yes, those are alien robes.
And this is what I was talking about before. As you will see throughout this fight, we have created a boss fight framework that can allow us to have multi-phased boss battles that does scripting, like trigger scripts and stuff that makes interesting stuff happen very easily, so we can implement this all over the place very quickly.
That's a cool example of this quest too.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you got him down to 66% health, and he just teleported you out of the area and made you fight a load of ghosts.
Exactly.
Because he's a coward.
Damn coward.
And then you killed the ghosts, and there he is again.
Exactly.
It's if you've ever played MMOs or some RPGs, these kind of mechanics should be pretty familiar to you. But it's not really utilized very often in Elder Scrolls, so it's quite fun to see this kind of stuff.
Yeah. Hopefully it will make dungeons more exciting. You saw a brief glimpse of some new spells, like Ghost use some earth spells, which is something we're introducing, along with water spells and wind spells, I think.
Nice.
Do boss fights break often? Damn cat.
Do they break often?
Yeah.
I mean, they have bugs that we're still ironing out, but generally it's scripted in such a way that, I mean, shouldn't break more often than a dragon priest fight or whatever you like. It's, you know, sometimes there can be issues with nav meshing or stuff like that that creates issues, but the general framework is very good. It's a shame we don't have Outskirts to discuss this here.
Someone's asking, do you feel that all of Beyond Skyrim and Cyrodiil will be able to maintain momentum, even as the years go on and Elder Scrolls 6 potentially releases?
100%.
Yeah. I feel like we've kind of crested the point where it's like, it's the point of no return now.
Yeah.
We're gonna release.
It's like even if we didn't release, people would like have all this content already done. So I'm sure somebody else would just come over and finish it.
Yeah.
Even if we, like, there's
I'm
almost
here
no
until
point
the
in
end.
that. Yeah, same.
Yeah, especially with big projects like this, there very much is like a moment, like you said, cresting the hill. There's a moment where you reach a certain point where it all starts falling into place, and it's hard to explain, but it's inevitable. It's like the momentum is really strong right now. We're making great progress. Yeah, it can be really hard when you embark on something this big to see it through. But like once you get past a certain point, it becomes easier.
Yeah, there's still a lot to do, but we're so well organised now, so all the teams know what they're doing. We've had the framework for Cyrodiil plotted out for years now, so it's kind of, there's just our roadmap and we're working along it. So no, I don't think we'll lose momentum or we'll struggle, even if ESO 6 came out, but there's not even a release date for that yet, so yeah, we're just going to keep plugging away at it. I mean, hopefully you can see we are making progress and that we've got quite a few cities done now. We've got quite a few more to do, but we've got a lot of the assets in place, and it gets easier. The more we have done, the easier it is to do the rest. So
Yeah, and I'm sure Starfield will give us a little dip in progress as we're all going to be playing it, I'm sure, but it won't detract because it's different content at the end of the day, so I wouldn't worry too much about that.
There was a question, if you could ask Todd one question, what would it be? Mine would be, can Beyond Skyrim be made canon, please?
Yes. That's probably
that would be awesome.
That's actually a really good one.
Yeah.
Especially things like Royal's Career and Cyrodiil would be, I'm not sure it'd happen, but it would be amazing.
We got a lovely comment saying that the end of the quest made someone tear up, so that's really nice. They said good job to the writers. I have to shout out the original writer of this quest, Brandon Woodcock, also known as Vengeful Peanut, who worked on our team many years ago. Is not around anymore, but obviously it kind of goes back to the point I was saying before, where we're constantly building on all of the stuff that we've already done. We've got so much stuff planned out, ready to go, so much stuff that we're building on top of other stuff. And the more you have, the easier it is to make more, if that makes sense. You just kind of, you lay down the foundations and then it becomes so much easier to build the building. So it's going really well. And yeah, we wouldn't be here without all the people that came before us as well. Many people have come and gone over the years. They're no longer working with us, who helped in Bruma or before or after. So it's everyone's product at the end of the day, and we're really happy and proud of it.
To the person who asked for hack dirt, there's another tease.
Yeah, fun note that if you enjoyed that quest from Vengeful Peanut, he's the one who originally outlined the first Fighters Guild quest line, and then Mr. Roven took it over and kind of made it his own as well. So, and there, if you like that quality, then you should hopefully like Fighters Guild.
Look at those Todd rays.
Yeah, this is out of the box. This is no EMB or anything. The new
Yeah.
weathers that we're working on just.
This is our first proper glimpse of the Great Forest as well, which we promised. The first time we've actually shown it off on stream, so I hope it is exciting people, because I think it looks absolutely stunning.
And we will cry if you're not. So.
Ooh, stunning.
Where are the Ewoks?
Actually, that's a funny thing you could bring up. It really is. I mean, the Great Forest is just so nice. It's been like years of work, right? Like,
yeah.
You have to get it just right, because if you go too overboard, then you end up with performance issues. So getting it in a place where it runs really well, like obviously we can just chuck down a load of really lovely trees and a load of like really high poly asset, like high quality assets and stuff. But if it, if it doesn't run, then that's no good, right? So you have to find that perfect balance between something that looks good and something that also works and isn't too difficult for the player to navigate, doesn't run down the machine too much, runs on a 11-year-old game, so kudos to all the people that made this happen. I'm sure there's probably a long list of level designers that we could probably list off right now.
It's had 5 or 6 people, because like it is such an intensive area just to get it looking this good. Like I know I did a pass on it a very long time ago, and then someone else took it off of me when I kind of had to step away for a bit, and then that person ended up leaving, and some of them end up feeling a bit cursed in time, but then you get stuff like this and it's like it all comes together kind of thing, and it looks great.
The new weather's just elevated.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. And there's also some, as you can see in the background vaguely, some new Minotaur clutter, and also map markers, which are cool to see always.
Yeah, I love the map markers. Someone did ask earlier, will we have any non-hostile interactions with any Minotaurs?
Possibly.
Yeah, possibly is the best answer we can give you right now.
Yeah.
Those tents there, they're the old Minotaur tent models. We've got new ones, but yeah, they probably end up being replaced.
Yeah.
Oh, do we?
Yeah. They still need a little bit of work because they're not quite scaled right and some things like that.
Oh, gotcha.
Also, yeah, those are the old models. We got new models, but I don't think they were used here.
Really? Oh, we'll have to look at that later. But I'm still cracking up about the ogre and the imp that were just standing there having a conversation.
I haven't even seen that interaction before. I don't know.
We tested this stream. We tested this route like 4 times, and we never saw that before.
Yeah.
So it's some kind of random encounter that we didn't even know about. Great. Oh, it's the treehouse goblins. Oh, the Ewoks.
This is like an Ewok village, yeah.
Yeah. This is great. This is a lovely level design here.
Yeah. This is the thing. Like, I'm a level, I'm in charge of level design, and it's often the case of here's, kind of a claim, and I leave people to do it, and then I don't get a chance to check it, and then on a stream like this, it's like, oh, this is what you've been doing. Wow, this looks amazing. It's such a cool idea.
It is. Like, yeah, it's like verticality. I know we've mentioned the word, it's like a buzzword now, but it's like, it really helps a lot. I mean.
Oh, yeah, it totally helps.
This is a very hostile forest.
Yeah.
Look how convenient.
Yeah,
glass armor.
Wow. Okay. Just to be clear, you won't normally find a whole set of glass armor in a goblin chest. That was put there specifically so that we could show it off.
Yes.
What? We're lying to the people?
Goblins
It's an Easter egg now.
Notorious hoarders.
But here's the glass armor. Doesn't it look pretty?
Yeah.
And sword. Claymore.
Yes.
Yeah, we were actually going to show off the glass shield as
well.
well today, but there was a small issue with it, so we had to push it off.
Yes. But there is a fix for it already. It just wasn't merged, right? Now we will be making our way to Brindleholm, which is a small village here in the Great Forest. You can take a
Which
look
you
at
might
the
remember
map.
from Oblivion, actually. It was in Oblivion. Although it's
Was
much
it?
bigger now.
Huh, I
In
don't remember.
Oblivion, it was I think it was 3 huts in the middle of nowhere. I think it's quite a bit bigger now. It's a nice
This is
excuse.
compatible with Skyrim VR, or should be before you go to sleep. Sorry. Hopefully. I believe it got working before.
Yeah,
it's a nice
one of our
reworked-
QA people managed to get Bruma working on, and I think they have tested a version of Cyrodiil on VR, so it might need a little bit of playing around. I don't think it works like straight out the box, but I think it can be done.
Definitely. I mean, it's just new lands and quests, right? So, like, we're not changing vanilla.
I think technically speaking, the Daedric armor is still edgy, but that that comes out. Comes with
That's
the
the one
territory.
I did this many years ago. That Aelid Ruin there. Well, it's
Still
been
beautiful.
changed since. I did the very base version. People have added to it since. But yeah.
Where's
I
that
love
one
it.
room? I remember in the first, like, if you look back in the first like Bruma teaser, you can see an Aelid ruin in the background. Which one is that? That's not this one, is it?
I'm not sure.
I think it's in the Great Forest. Yeah.
Might be.
Could be Ellenglyn, maybe?
It might be, yeah. Ellinglin's been like that for a while. It needs changing around there, though. Depending on what we do with it.
Also, this sword will probably get a little update to its cube map, right? Am I wrong?
You should pick a flower around here, apparently.
A flower?
Yeah. Back in Deepwood Clearing, yeah.
Apparently, we're just going on the rampage against small, very innocent animals instead.
Oh, is it broken? There is you pick a flower as a spriggan meant to appear and attack you. But it appears not to be working.
I actually hope we can get the new the flower spriggan concept made eventually.
Oh, there we go. Now she's suddenly appeared.
she's taking a break.
Yeah.
Go and get some coffee.
Oh crap! They came now.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but we're also working on a spriggan for Blackwood as well, right?
Yeah, we got the flowery one. I don't know how far north we'll use that one. We need to have a think about that. Yeah, it is. It's kind of a Nibene almost one, really. At the moment, we might extend it to some of Colovia. It's the bandits at Wooden Hand.
Stop.
Hello? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yeah.
Okay, I dropped out again. Freaking internet.
Bro.
What were we saying? About the Spriggans or something?
That we might have a Blackwood variant.
We've got the flowery one, haven't we?
No, it's actually the opposite. We have the Blackwood variant. We haven't been placed around, and we don't have the flower one yet.
Oh right, okay, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's me getting
Which
confused.
looks awesome, by the way. Can't wait to see them actually in game.
Will bandits utilize more crossbows? Yes, they will, but when you're at a low level, I can tell you for free, they're massively overpowered.
Probably need some balancing.
I think Outskirts has balanced it since I brought it up, because I was playing and I think I was doing a practice run for a stream and a bandit just appeared with a crossbow and like two-shot me and it was like, oh,
You just got
thanks.
domed by a bandit.
Yeah.
Not
That's code, but I died even more often than usual.
I once had a home in Skingrad, but I prefer the slower pace.
And here's Brindleholm. Love this town. It's actually probably my favorite. Yeah, I think this is probably my favorite town in Cyrodiil. Just I don't know, has some. It just has this cool like backwoods vibe to it.
Nosy question. I don't even know you. You don't know who you're dealing with. I suggest you pester someone else before I turn you into an ash pile. Apart from the Vera's limitless hostility and the ridiculous taxes, I love this village. I wouldn't
This
live
high
anywhere.
elf just flexed on us.
They blame my kind for the death of their son. He was a lieutenant in the Legion who was killed in the Battle of the
Any
Red Ring.
orc settlements in
They
Chorrol?
don't
There
understand
are
why people were not involved.
some strongholds around Cyrodiil.
Understatement of the era. Our gold lines the pockets of the Count of Chorrol and his rascal of a
Thank
steward.
you. Yeah, the robes.
If only someone could go to Castle Kavach to get an audience with the Duke and Duchess.
You pay a lot in taxes. We at a dinner party now.
I, for one, like how quiet it is. No one comes through here, well, other than you. You know, it's been a long time since I've seen an adventure.
Yes,
I can
fine
make
user.
use
The
of you
Great
if you
Forest
do
is
the
about the
coin.
size of a Skyrim hold, so it's pretty
I'm
decent.
in need of welkin stones for my spellcraft. If you ever find yourself in Elade ruins, pick some up for me and I'll reward you handsomely. Splendid.
Oh,
I need
that's
10
useful.
welkin
We've just
stones
been to
for an
an
endeavor
Elade
of great significance.
Yeah.
In other words, don't dally. Till we meet again,
So,
traveler.
one thing to point out that the NPCs wearing Skyrim armor in the background is on purpose, just so people are aware.
Farewell.
All the time I've wasted on these damned weeds. Did I ask your opinion? Sorry, I'm not in the best mood. Haven't eaten much in a while. Say, want to do me a favor? Lots of gold in it for you. So, we're having some bad luck with our crops, for some reason. Must be the soil or the water or something. Can you do me and Dingjin a favor? We haven't had much to eat. What with our farm being all buggered up.
Mary Beth saying
Can
you
you
wishing
get
you
us
had
some
to do
food?
something to help us guys. If you want to learn how to mod, then you should head over to the Arcane University, where you can learn how to do basically all the skills
Thank you,
needed
Smear.
to
I'll give
get
you a
involved with
list of
modding
what
and
I
come and
need.
assist us.
Oh, very important.
Yeah,
Get
and
you
just
to
learn
steal the stuff.
intro
Yeah.
to
Those stingy
certain
merchants
video game
will
design
deserve
elements
another
in
something
general,
for
not
all the
Yeah.
really.
trouble they cost me.
Yeah, just like 3D asset design and concept art and things like that. So definitely check it out, even if
Fine, don't steal.
you don't
I'm not
think you
complaining
will
as
be
long as I'm
available to
getting
help
what
the
I'm
mod.
asking
I
for.
think the link's just been
Here
dropped
is
in the chat now,
Now,
so
before
yeah,
you
there you
say
go.
anything, it's nothing
Nice.
an able adventurer couldn't handle. The best of Cyrodiil, and you know, I'm doing you a favor. Give you a chance to check out the towns.
I
and
like
the
this
lay of
quest.
the land.
The guy
Run along,
basically,
I'm hungry.
I don't know if he said it or not, but he basically sends you
Hello?
to go around all of Cyrodiil and collect the finest foods and ingredients. And there's some unique ones.
Can I help you?
Yeah, just look at this journal update.
Yeah.
I read that as 169 to collect for a second. Then
No.
I was like, oh my god.
This is my kind of quest. I'd probably eat all the food though. I don't think he's getting it.
Yep.
Look at this.
Do we want to look at the map or no? Somebody asked.
Yeah, we can always look at the map a bit more.
We walked
Should we
from
just have-
Chorrol
we should
over
just-
here, from
Yeah, should
Battlehorn.
we just have a look at where we've been so far?
Yeah,
We started in the top left, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Battlehorn, and we walked to Chorrol, and then did the Winter Quest, and we've walked through the Great Forest here. Through Deepwood Clearing, Timor Camp. There's many more points of interest around here, and here's Skingrad down here.
Yeah. And Bruma up at the top as well.
I think I can go to Emerson Sinosha now.
Maybe we want to talk really briefly about the College of Whispers and the Synod for those who aren't aware of how they work.
Yeah, so right now we should be approaching one of the primary College of Whispers Cynosures in Cyrodiil, which is the Emerson Cynosure. It's the each guild has a hall in each county, except for Kavach, and they have to try and one up each other all the time. So that's kind of the main reason. The College of Whispers generally has locations in the wilderness and away from civilization, and all the synod halls are in the cities.
What's the difference between the two guilds?
Welcome to the
Yeah, go ahead.
the finest College of Whispers Cynosure outside.
I was saying, what's the difference between the two guilds?
It's a great distance away from the safe stone walls of the
Is he
major
gone?
city.
Is anyone else?
Because of that
He
out
did
here,
say he
there
had
is
internet
plenty of
trouble, so he might have just
dangerous
disappeared.
wildlife waiting for us all the time. It's simply fantastic.
I'll take over, I guess, until he comes back. Basically, Argor is the main writer for these two guild quest lines. It's kind of like two guild quest lines in one. Essentially, you have the Synod and the College of Whispers. The Synod is the more mainstream Mages Guild, which is a descendant of the original Mages Guild.
Oh, you're back.
You're back.
Hello.
Hello.
Oh, hey. Well, where did I drop out?
I was just telling them about. I was just telling them about the difference between the Synod and the Mages Guild. The Synod and the College of Whispers. Yeah. Do you want to? I was just telling them about. Do you want to take over the difference between the two guilds?
Yeah, I was talking the whole time and I just wasn't connected. That's funny. But yeah, so this NPC actually is wearing a robe she's not supposed to be wearing, just to state that. But yeah, this is currently, I don't know if I said this already, but this is the Emerson Cynosure, which is one of the primary locations of the College of Whispers. Both the Synod and College of Whispers have
we should probably also mention that this is Battlefront Priory from Oblivion.
Yeah, this is basically the story of this Cynosure is that the College of Whispers took it over after some strange events happened here, and that's generally the premises with College of Whispers is that they take over, they set up their halls in places of magical interest around the province. But to combat the Synod, they have to have one in every county as well. So you'll generally find like 8 or so halls, as you would expect. Yeah.
How do these two guilds work in terms of the quest line?
Yes, I made that clothing, but yeah, the in terms of the quest line, so just a brief description of how we're handling is that they will both have their own quest line, but they will be related in some way. I'll just say that. So one thing cool about this particular, can you guys hear me all right? I noticed you said.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, one thing cool about this particular location is that, as you can see, it's based around a strange rock, is I guess how I would describe it. And there's actually some interesting stuff going on with it, but it's an interesting magical artifact. Let's just say that. Yeah, and the College of Whispers is definitely a secretive organization, so they won't like to tell you about very much until you're high up in the organization.
You won't be able to join both of them.
Yes, correct. So once you join one guild, they are rivals essentially, both vying for the. Yeah, she's not wearing the right outfit either, but yeah, they're both vying for the support of the Elder Council as the primary mage faction for Cyrodiil. So once you join one, you will be precluded from joining the other. But you will be given plenty of opportunity to decide which one you like, as in Oblivion had their recommendation quests. Each of our guilds will also have recommendation quests that you will go around to each hall and basically get a feel for what each guild stands for before being having the chance to formally join one. Yeah, sorry again about all the network issues. This is annoying.
At least it's not the person streaming like last time, Mr. JGT.
Well, your computer was melting, so
yeah,
I think you had a good excuse.
just need to not do any streams in the summer.
Yeah. Oh dang! A Khajiit that can't speak. It's a Christmas miracle. Yeah, no. Urkhal is mute, which is interesting to implement in a what do you call it, in a game like this, because there's a lot of little bugs around disabilities for characters. So things like being crippled or you know, missing arms or limbs or something. It's very hard to do. So but there are some instances where we can kind of make it work.
Will finishing the College of Winterhold or doing any of Nelos quests affect the Synod /
The
college?
the same with Dragonborn content, more or less, is that we'll reference it, but it won't play a major role. So you can play the entire quest lines without being you know, going in and interacting with the College of Winterhold or anything like that. But if you have done those things, you will see it mentioned, and yeah. It's actually an interesting point to mention that with all of Beyond Skyrim, the fact that there's so many guilds in the province, we kind of are forced to do that approach, more or less. I mean, I think it's a good approach, but because otherwise, if you try to over-explain it or try to over-connect everything, it will just be impossible to implement. So everything has to be more or less standalone, which is, if it fits this sort of game style anyway. So.
Anyway, whatever happened to him, it is what it is now. Better alive than dead.
Investigate Hagtard. We won't be doing that today, though. Not spoiling the mystery.
Also, I want to mention that all these doors are, the doors in that crypt were placeholders.
Yes.
Because they look.
Okay. We will be traveling up to a different type of ruin now.
One more thing to note about the College of Whispers and the Synod is the difference between how they view conjuration and necromancy, right?
Yeah, so I mean, if you played Bruma, you'll get the gist of what each guild is about. So I would highly recommend playing through that one. There's a quest in there that kind of encapsulates it. But basically, more or less, the Oblivion Crisis. Well, first, before I continue, I'll continue, I promise. But let's look at the nice dungeon we're walking into, which is, yes, an Akaviri ruin in the north, which is something which is unique to Cyrodiil.
Oh yeah, I mean, this is the first time we showed this off as well. We've got Akaviri ruins, right? Have we ever showed this before?
Yeah.
In a showcase, maybe.
Yeah, I think they've been in a showcase, but this is the first time on screen.
Yeah. So these were missing from Oblivion. These didn't exist in Oblivion, but we have.
Yeah, we don't have tons in.
No, we have only. Well, I'm not going to say the exact amount, but not many at all. But I think that's better because we don't want them to be overdone. But they're quite special.
Yeah.
We have a cool quest plan
there's only
for them
about.
as well.
Yeah.
There's only about 2 or 3 Akaviri dungeons in the whole province.
The Akaviri are funny. Are funny content-wise because there's a lot of speculation about what they are. We ended up going with the Oblivion kind of interpretation of their undead that you kind of see during the main quest, is that they kind of look like blades, but that doesn't necessarily confirm or deny anything. So that's just.
Just have a look at the tiles then.
Yeah, I think a lot of the things that for the humanoid aspects can be kind of chalked down to the interbreeding with Nibonese and all them. So if that's what you'd want to go with, because there's actually quite a bit of Akaviri culture in the Nibonese as well.
I have a personal theory that the Akaviri, that the snake form is because they're actually like vampire lords and they have like a snake kind of vampire lord look.
Hey, it could be.
But there's nothing for definite on that one.
glass sword coming in handy here. Just ripping it.
Yeah.
Lucky we found it in that goblin camp.
Yeah. How convenient. Ooh, nice. All right, in the back. Yeah, so one thing to note as well that any necromancers you see wearing that robe are actually part of a particular organization that may be related to one of the guild quest lines.
All right.
Yeah, so there we go. Yeah, that was a brief look at the Chorrol region, right? After a little clipping there.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think that's what we've got for today. Maybe just answer some more questions, and then yeah. That's about
Yeah,
it.
if anybody's got anything left, we'll just stick around for a minute to answer questions, like you said. So otherwise, it's been fun hanging out with you all.
Yeah.
Will Cyrodiil have dragons? We might have a few small encounters, but they won't be like Cyrodiil was. They won't be like it was in Skyrim. Will there be a standalone release like Bowmore Weapon Pack? Undecided.
The next city is not confirmed yet, but you guys will definitely hear it once we're ready to announce it. What we're doing next year, there's a few things we have to catch up with first, and then we'll figure out where we're going to go from there. But just stay tuned.
Yeah. Will the Armor of Dominion react differently to the Emperors you elect? Probably yes. Some of them are. Each candidate has a different level of kind of how they feel about the Dominion.
Yeah, so also nice look at the Hermaeus Mora shrine we got here.
Yeah.
Beautiful asset by, I believe it was Zuna? No, it's Depro. Yeah, Depro made it. Yeah, lovely, and concepted by Ramez. But yeah, also the Kvatch is rebuilt. Yes.
Looks nicer at night. You should.
Yeah.
Do you want to have a little quick look at the map as well? Because there were people looking. I know we showed the Chorrol area, but we could just have a quick pan around Cyrodiil to show people how it's looking from above, maybe.
Sure.
Yeah.
That looks awesome.
Yeah.
There's also going to be a cool feature with the shrine, which isn't implemented yet, but yeah, you'll see it eventually. Yeah, there's no Synod Hall in Kvatch because, well, if you watch the Kvatch trailer, you kind of get the idea, which I would highly recommend. There's also a playlist on the Cyrodiil, on the Beyond Skyrim YouTube as well, dedicated to Cyrodiil milestones now, which is mainly the city trailers and streams, as well as any primary trailers we post. So I would definitely have a look back at those to see how much progress we've made. Also, well, a lot of questions you have may be answered if you go back and watch those.
Yeah. Yes, the map is very big.
Yeah.
And it's absolutely incredible how much progress we've made. So it's looking really good.
The person who asked about the Thieves Guild, our quest line currently can't answer too much about it, but it will most likely be more Oblivion-y than Skyrim was. Skyrim was very sort of what do you call it, brutish, I guess you could say, in regards to thief content. Like they were more willing to do kind of dirty work. I think you'll have the well, there's not too much we can say about it, to be honest. So take from that what you can.
Yeah, that's something that we're not ready to necessarily talk about.
Yeah.
Will we be able to do arena stuff? Yes, in the Imperial City. Will the
There's-
Vigilance of Stendar have a big pull in Cyrodiil?
Just to clarify, we're not likely to have an arena quest line like in Oblivion, but you will be able to
We're
use
not?
it.
No,
We don't know yet.
I mean, what do you mean? Yeah, we don't know yet. Yeah, I would say because, I mean, the arena quest line in Oblivion wasn't really a quest line; it was more of just
Right.
mechanics. So.
If we do, it'll be similar to the Bard's College, where
Yeah,
it's like
it's not going to be like a
2 or
full
3. It's not going to be
story
Right.
quest line.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably mostly like Oblivion. Yeah.
The main focus will be the mechanics of the arena, and having interesting challenges.
Yeah. Is Elsewhere releasing with Cyrodiil, or are they separate? They will be separate releases.
Yeah, elsewhere, Valenwood and Cyrodiil are all in the same world space, but separate releases.
Kvatch is restored, and we have trailers and streams of us walking around it. So you should go have a look at those.
And one thing cool to
Although
note
it's
is that
weird to look at those because they're massively out of date now because we've
exactly. I was about to say that. Yeah, makes my eyes bleed, but compared to how they look now, but we'll see. The content in those trailers, though, is still up to date.
Yes.
It's just mostly asset and level design. Yeah. Yeah, I guess if there's nothing else.
What other settlements like Such are returning?
Such.
Such.
As
and
people,
then...
some people noticed on the map was Sancretor. That's also getting there, and I think in the recent post we made for the Advent calendar, we also showed a little bit of Mir Korup. Those 3 are going to be sort of our minor city locations.
Yeah,
that'll be getting to work.
Like mid-level
and,
between the cities and the actual small towns. Those are kind of like half. There's like those 3.
Yes.
Bretwald 2 is coming back.
What?
What? All right.
Cut Thumb House from Oblivion.
Oh.
Yeah. Go back to Rosaline's mother. Yeah, I guess we technically didn't finish her quest, but she doesn't need to know.
We'll tell her off screen. Don't worry, we'll tell her off stream.
That's for you guys to do when you play it.
All right.
Yeah.
Will we be able to buy a house in every major city? Probably.
I think so.
Yeah. Will there be a Kinrath Chapel anywhere in Cyrodiil?
Yeah.
I think we're planning on having some outside location, aren't we, as the Kinrath kind of chapel?
Yeah, I wouldn't want to state how anything about that yet, but yeah, most likely it'll be in the exterior. But also, yeah, did we mention? I can't hear the sound, but did anybody? Was there like a bell tolling in the background at any time, or was that not?
No, it's not in yet. It's still being worked on, but it's.
Yeah, if anybody knows the like the bell tolls from like the Oblivion trailer and things like that, I think in Oblivion they actually did toll. Ours will as well. That will be coming pretty shortly, which is a cool feature.
Given that you've returned,
you
lifted the curse.
Will we be able to join the Vigilance of Stendar? Yes.
Wonderful, just wonderful.
You won't be a full kind of member, I don't think, because of how it affects. Will it?
You will. Yeah, you will be.
You'll actually join the faction.
Yeah.
Properly. Okay.
But the
It's
Cyrodiil one
not
is,
like a main. Yeah.
Yeah, the Cyrodiil one is
major
like separated from the Skyrim one, so
Right,
it won't necessarily interfere with the Skyrim quests.
Yeah.
And there is a small quest line, kind of like the Bard's College as well.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You won't be able to buy a house in Sancretor because the minor cities aren't big enough to house a player home as well without feeling weird and empty.
People would always ask
There will be a home inside the Imperial City walls, though. That's what somebody asked. Yes.
How many people working on Cyrodiil at the moment? A lot.
A lot.
There's
but we could always use more.
Yeah, the more people the merrier. Please join.
She would want you to have it.
The Bloated Float Inn, if that's that one that's outside the Imperial City, the houseboat thing. We don't have that.
Yeah, it won't be there.
Yeah. Can you escape from prisons like in Skyrim? Yes. Will there be different entry points from Cyrodiil from Skyrim? Currently, no, but there might be some caves or something that go through the mountain added.
I was actually looking at that in Skyrim this morning. There were a couple of fairly obvious places where it's like, oh, we should have another entrance here.
I think we will
think
end up putting.
Yeah, it'd be nice, wouldn't it?
A nice view with the the glass sword. Also, I didn't. Is that the reward you got from a?
Yeah, exactly. It's also got
Nice.
one of our own enchantments, which
Yeah,
is
I know. That's
Earth,
cool.
which has some unique
Huh.
mechanics. That's not very
That's
present
cool.
in the main game.
We've literally just hit 2 hours, so do you think that's a good place to leave it?
Yeah, I think
Yes.
it's good.
Yes. All right.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for coming to check out the stream with us. It was fun showing off the Great Forest and Chorrol in general. Hope you enjoyed, and we'll be showing more cool stuff next year. So stay tuned and enjoy the rest of the Advent calendar. I believe has a few more days,
Yeah.
a week left.
And like a happy holidays, Christmas, whatever
Indeed.
you celebrate. And yeah, we look forward to seeing you next year.
Yeah,
Right.
we'll see you
Bye
in
now.
the new year.
Thanks for
Bye.
watching. Bye.